A power outage. A power outage. That is the flavor of today. That's the the plot twist. Every day has a plot twist. You know, you think you're going to get a lot of stuff done. No, you never get anything done. So you get the raw, unadulterated Gribs without all the cuts. You know, that's my style, right? I make a joke and then I make a cut because this is not a sitcom. There is no canned applause for me to or laugh track for me to play after my joke. So you instead of like me making a joke and then we stare at each other awkwardly, we do a cut. But I don't have my computer. I can't do that. So you get the real deal. You just get to sit in the room with me for a minute, and it will be just a minute because we're gonna have to make this one a placeholder, I think, because I can't look at my notes because I have to use my phone. Yeah, I can't. I'm thrown off my game. Smoking Foundry in my hardwood, in okay. It's actually great. It's a great tobacco. I'm just in a bad mood. I don't have the luxury of time to enjoy sitting here. I made my coffee with an alcohol stove this morning. That's how dedicated I am to, well, that's how addicted I am to caffeine. That's real. I mean, it's either that or go to Starbucks, and I'm not going to Starbucks.
I'll stake my life on it. Starbucks is witchcraft.
So I wanted to answer at least one actual Ask Cribs question because to make it a true antisocial, you know, it is a little bit of a placeholder, but that's okay. We're going to answer a question here. So Martin Stinsby asked me a couple of weeks ago if I had an unlimited amount of wealth, do I have a dream pipe? And one thing I will say for myself, I don't know if I'm proud of this, but one advantage I have going for me is that I'm so used to being so broke that I don't dream about things out of my price range anymore. That I feel like I've let go of ever wanting dream pipes. And then Martin said, "Do you have a dream guitar that you would buy?" And that's a little more complicated. But dream pipe, I wouldn't even know what to say. I mean, I would have to go, and I can't right now because I'm using my phone to record. I would have to go to. By the way, let's adjust that just a touch. There we go. Yeah, that's probably straighter. Anyway, I would have to go to Smoking Pipes and look at the expensive pipes and decide which one of them. And I think it's easier just to say, you know, I just don't know that I would buy if King Charles died and left me, the British fortune. I don't think I would buy a pipe. Why would I? I have pipes. I've got more pipes than I can smoke, and so to buy a really nice pipe would be a waste. Having said that, every now and then I do come across a pipe that I see and I'm like, oh man, that's a sexy pipe. But it's like I don't know that there's a particular maker or a fancy billiard. I'll put it like I would. There's the easy answer, fancy billiard. Second part of Martin's question is harder. So Jeff Bezos dies, and it turns out I'm his distant eighth cousin or whatever. Do I buy a fancy guitar? What is my dream guitar? So there's a few different answers to this. Number one, no, I have the guitars that I need, but what I would do is upgrade them. My hollow body needs better tuners. I have played my Telecaster enough that the frets are almost non-existent. It needs a new neck. And you get into these value propositions where you're like, okay, this guitar is worth X. Am I really going to put Y amount of money into it? Should I just buy a new guitar? I took my Tele to a tech that I trust, and he was like, just buy a new guitar. It's a Squier Tele. The guitar is not worth putting a new neck on. That's not true. That's not true because I actually, when I was a young man, my first real purchase ever was an American Fender, really nice American Fender Telecaster. And as young men do with their guitars, I put a lot of my musician's ego, not that I'm a musician, I put a lot of my guitar player's ego into that guitar. And then I sold it when we bought our house. It was like, that was the big sacrifice that I made to make the down payment for our house. and then because of a deal with music retail, I worked in music retail. I got a Squier Classic Vibe Telly for free, and it blew the American Fender out of the water. It's so sad. It was just totally the superior guitar, and in actually all respects, like looking back on it, that American Telly, as nice as it was, the fretwork wasn't that great, and the way that it was a 2002, and the way that they lacquered the necks at the time was really problematic in terms of the frets. And point being, the Squier was better, and so I've had two techs tell me they don't want to work on it because it's not worth the money I want. They're just like, just get another guitar. No, like this is an awesome guitar. It just needs bigger frets, and I don't want to pay to refret it. Anyway, the point is, I would do the ridiculous work to a cheap guitar that I want to do. But if what you want is an easy model number for me to throw at you, dream guitar. I mean, I think like I've got a Larrivee acoustic. I'm set on acoustics. I've got a Larrivee DO3 that I bought in 2003, so it's now a 20-year-old, all solid acoustic guitar. And that I don't see how I could improve on that. I guess I could get a D28 or something, but why? So I would be more comfortable answering this question if my house burned down and I lost everything, and then had an unlimited amount of money to spend. So in that case, if I had to get one, it would be a Macmall Telecaster, or whatever, the T-type Macmall. If you're not familiar, look them up, but only look them up if you can afford a $10,000 Telecaster. That's because you don't want to see it otherwise. They're such beautiful instruments. Once you see it, there will be a part of you that wants it, and if you can afford that, great. But I'll never be able to afford one. If I'm being practical though, and my house burned down and I had to replace my guitars, I would only buy one guitar. I would not buy multiples. Do you want a separate video on guitars? Are there enough guitar players in my audience that you actually want to hear me talk about this? Because we could do a little guitar tour. We did that in the distant past, but things have changed. We could do a little guitar tour if you want to see my guitars. I have 3 electrics and 1 acoustic. I've got an Ibanez AS120 from 2002. So it is now 21 years old. I bought it used in 2003. And I've got a Squier Classic Vibe Telly, and I've got a Jackson cheap ass metal guitar, $200 shreddy metal guitar that I bought specifically to learn how to do fretwork on, and I leveled the frets on it, and the thing is amazing. It plays incredibly, but it is still a cheap ass Jackson JS22, I think. Cheesy blue archtop, solid body. Anyway, house burns down. I would probably, if I'm being practical, I would just buy the Ibanez John Scofield signature hollow body, which I think is about $3,000. Gorgeous guitar. It can do anything. You can't if you can't do it with that guitar, it's not the guitar's fault. So I would buy that, and probably honestly, I would probably get the Tone Master Princeton Reverb. I wouldn't get the tube version. I would get the solid state Tone Master, because I am too old for tubes. That is one thing I have discovered. So I think that answers the question. It's a little rambly. Sorry. Easy answer. John Scofield signature model from Ibanez would be my practical choice, and then a Macmall T-type if I really did have win the lottery kind of wealth. And now I have to move on with my day with no electricity. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers. That's not true. This is not a big hardship. I was worried it was going to be a hardship because the main reason we would lose power is forest fires right now. When I woke up to the notification from the electric company that the power was out, there was a moment of maybe we should pack some bags, because there's been all these fires around town. We're in a state of emergency because the drought is so bad. And then I went outside and didn't smell smoke, and I figured it was okay. So, but yeah, I'm glad. I won't complain about the power outage as long as my house isn't on fire. How about that? Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.